Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Stormworks. We are not in the workbench quite yet, but we will be soon. I'm just out here flying around my single-seater attack helicopter. I gave this thing a update with my universal helmet HUD. If you guys haven't seen that, that's the HUD on the screen right now. But right now, I wanted to just kind of go mess with the Frigate a little bit. I don't think this helicopter is going to fit on the back of that thing. But if it does, that'd be cool. If not, I definitely have some other smaller helicopters I know for a fact fit. My little Hellion on the workshop, it's a little older, but you can fit two of those in the hangar. And that kind of brings me to the subject of today's video. So we are going to be going around and doing a little bit more work on the hangar. I know we already did some 2 videos, I think, but that's all right. It's part of the ship that's pretty open and it's got to get some detailing done, but we are heading towards the end of the Frigate series. I only have a couple more raw videos of us building left, and then it should be ready to throw it on the workshop. But you guys can see right now I am just hammering this thing in the background trying to get it to sync, and I'm not really having too much luck yet, but I'm sure we can get it to sync. But we will be building in today's episode. I just realized that, I haven't really shown too much gameplay with the Frigate itself, and it looks like my helicopter is on fire, so I'm just going to jump out. But we'll head over to the Frigate right now, and I'll kind of walk around. You guys can kind of see where it's at in this video. Obviously, I've been doing a lot of work off camera. A lot of the logic I don't really do on camera, and we're just going to ignore the fire, really. But you guys can see I got all the weapons hooked up. We did that a while ago, and it's really just filling out the rest of the inside of the hull. I generally fill the inside of the hull. It's not great for the game, but it's how I prefer to build. So it's what we're gonna do, and I think that we're getting close, but we've got to get this hangar done, and I've got a bunch of other stuff that I'm not really going to show off on camera. I'm not going to do every single little space on camera, but there are some spaces on camera that we are definitely going to work on. So we're going to get right into the building with this one, guys, and I will talk to you in just a moment. right. Well, we did not really that much, but that was all over the place. And I'm sorry, but this is kind of what the end of the builds start to look like for me. It's really just me moving around, jumping around, noticing stuff that needs more detailing, stuff that I missed, that kind of thing. So do have a little emergency ladder back here. It's more decorational than functional. I'm sure if you needed to use it, you could, but it is just handles. It's not an actual ladder. Just kind of wanted it for the looks there, and I'm going to see if I can get another actual ladder in here somewhere. So that should be good. But yeah, again, guys, I know the last episode we kind of bounced around a lot. This is going to be pretty much the same deal in this one too, just because, again, we're headed towards the end of the build, and a lot of this is exterior work, or not necessarily it's detail work, but it's detail work that isn't going to take a full episode, so it's hard to kind of make an episode out of it, if that makes sense. So right now we are just running all over the place, and I'm just doing my hull markings for paint and a few other just small minor details. Gonna add a nice little handle to the ladders, and I think that should be good enough for us. Now I do want to get down into this bottom floor. I know I'm kind of moving around all over the place, guys, right now. I am trying to plan a pipe layout, but I do want to come into, we'll call it the dirty basement of the ship, and basically it's just the lower deck and the bilge. But I want to come down here. This place isn't necessarily finished. We got to fill out this space. You guys will see in the next episode, we're going to actually put crew bunks down here. But I do want a refill port for the fresh water. So when you are parked in the harbor, you can refill the fresh water if you need, or you can connect to shore water, whatever you want. So we're going to add that. And then I also have to figure out a refueling system for the ship. We do have some ports towards the hangar bay, but that is more for the helicopter, not really to refill the entire ship. So I want to go ahead and add these hatches along the midship outside, where you can open up and basically refuel the liquids. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. We're going to get that done, and then, again, we're just kind of bouncing all over the place, but this is one of those details. It's not really a detail. It's kind of more of a feature that you need. You need to be able to refill the liquids on your ship, and that is just kind of a universal need. So we're going to work on the water here, and then I can't remember if I do the fuel in this episode or if I just do the water, but the fuel will get incorporated into that same tank. And once again, guys, I'm just fidgeting all over the place right now because I'm looking for good routes for the pipes. And this is just me kind of going crazy OCD on the pipe work. But if you have been following this series, you know that that's not new. So we will continue following suit with what I have done previously. But as you guys can see, this is a pretty small hatch. It's not going to really be too intrusive. At least I hope it's not very intrusive. But more plumbing to add to the inside of the ship. This thing is quickly becoming a plumbing mess, but I love it. And I'll just get our other ports in here too for our other liquids. Now, I'm not going to add a black water discharge, black water discharge for the port, just because you're supposed to discharge that. Well, you're not supposed to. You can discharge that when you're not parked. So I'm not going to worry about that. Also, I'm sure like 99.9% of you don't even care that there's a black water tank there. So not really going to get too bent out of shape out of doing that as realistic as I possibly can. We're just going to kind of focus on getting what we need in. And right now what we need is some diesel fuel and some fresh water. So you guys can see I'm working on routing the diesel fuel now, which is not going to be too difficult. We've kind of got a lot of stuff to go around. That's like the only issue. So I'm going to actually take this on a really, really weird route. You guys will see. We're going to go up and over the door frame and then down into the fuel tank. I kind of wanted to keep it separate from all of the water stuff down there, just because, they're completely different systems. So this is where it's going to get a little cheeky. I might use a couple pipes to just kind of hide it and look like it goes down directly in. But we're going to come back to this area later anyways, and a lot of this will kind of get closed off, and not closed off, but really kind of turned into like a maintenance closet, I guess. Not really, just kind of like a little corner in the hallway with a bunch of pipes and maintenance area that you can service all of this stuff. So in my usual fashion, I'll add more valves and all that kind of stuff to overcomplicate it, because why not? But this is pretty much the plan for the fuel. Not going to get too much fancier than that. Obviously, I'll come back and I'll tidy up the piping and whatnot. But for now, I'm fine with that. It adds a little bit of spaghetti mess inside of our hallway too, which at this point, I'm okay with that, just because we know more or less that a lot of the exterior walls are taken by a lot of pipes. So I'm okay if we need to do more of that. It kind of looks good on the inside once we get to building. And then I'm just going to copy and paste this hatch onto the other side, and we will also have to figure out how to plumb that bad boy up. After this, though, we really shouldn't have to worry about too much more plumbing. I'm going to, obviously, I have bathrooms already in. The plumbing's already ran to the bathroom, so we don't really need to worry about that. The rest is just kind of decorative, filling in the inside of the hull, and I'm going to be honest, a lot of that, you guys aren't going to see all of it, just because, I mean, there's a lot of it and a lot of corners that nobody cares about. So we probably only have another few episodes. I did mention in the last episode that this thing will be coming onto the workshop probably sooner than you expect. And when I say that, I mean I probably should start working on the workshop page soon-ish. So next couple of weeks for sure. It's basically done. Mechanically, it's done. Don't really need to do too many other things. There's a couple like tiny little details I need to tidy up, like the deck markers that you guys saw me working on in the beginning of this episode for the hangar bay, the basically don't land and your clear to land. I need to add controls for that from the bridge, but other than that, most of it's done. We have all of our HVAC done. Every room has AC. I went ahead and I did the air conditioning for the freezer off camera. Basically the same thing, just the same air conditioning system that I use for the rest of the ship. It's just a little more powerful than it should be for the room size, I guess. So we got that going. It doesn't get down to freezing temps, but I got it down to 46 degrees Fahrenheit, which is not like super cold, but it's also not super warm. So whatever, I'll take that. And then this is kind of another little area I wanted to work on. So I wanted to have a undership access for diving, especially if there's a wet submarine down there. This ship was always kind of supposed to be like I don't know, not to sound corny, but like a special operation ship where you're kind of going after specific targets and stuff, not really patrolling waters. So for that reason, I wanted it to have a lot of these kind of weird features to do, shenanigans, basically. So I'm just going to tidy this up a little bit. We'll come back down here, and there's going to be a hallway down here. The roof's really, really tight, but that's okay. The the crew bunks are down on this floor, and I really didn't know what else to put down here, and dang it, my AC's turning on. But I didn't know what else to put down here other than basically a diving room. So all right, one conditioned room later, kind of perfect timing, honestly. We were just talking about air conditioning. Love that invention. Shout out air conditioning. Great. Anyways, I'm just going to, because I have a diving bell down here, I'm going to do a little bit of detailing on the underside of the hull. Absolutely psychopath behavior out of me, I know. But we're going to add a little light down here so you can help find your way back. And I'm going to do a bunch of paint markings, and you're going to paint. I'm going to, mark out the sonar, the brain melter, and all of that other good stuff. So we're just going to do a little bit of detailing. I always put way too much detailing into the underside of my ships, but I always think it's fun and it looks really cool in the workbench, especially like the paint or the weight blocks on the bottom of this ship look so good. But definitely spent way too long on it, so don't do that. But anyways, I'm just going to throw a little bit of emergency equipment in here, and then that'll basically be it for this episode. I know we were kind of all over the place, but again, that's kind of what we got to do towards the end of these episodes. So we're just working on filling in the space, and we'll get it filled out. And once it's filled out, you guys will get this onto the workshop. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do a light version of this ship. I will say it's not great on performance, guys, but it's really more of a model art piece for me than like a workhorse, I guess. I don't know. I would not really want to use this in survival creation, but if you'd like, if by popular demand there's enough people who want a light version, I could maybe look at gutting a lot of the interior and physics flooding it. Probably wouldn't save on lag too much because this vehicle has a lot of physics bodies that are giving the lag just because of the weapons. But I don't know. We can see. I'm just yapping on about right now as I do. And we got the underside of this looking a lot better. And I think this is pretty much where we're going to end it, guys. So we'll do our normal thing. I'm going to spawn in here real quick. and we'll just walk around like we usually do. And, well, not usually, sometimes, but we're just going to check out some of the things we worked on. More specifically, we'll go down and check out the diving bell and whatnot. But, well, not a diving bell. I don't really know what you would call this. A liability hatch is what I like to call it. You should not put holes in the bottom of your ship, but I'm doing it. And I do apologize about the lighting, guys. I play with Opal, so it makes the night really, really dark, but it makes the day look a lot nicer for you guys on camera, hopefully. But part of that is I need to test lights at night because it gets so dark. So I wanted to get a bunch of lights down here so you could tell where the hatch was, and you guys could see that that's not really doing the job. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for you in this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next episode. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.